hearts, and welcome back to the Lola Gets channel where we talk about faith, love, and GLP-1s. And for those of you that don't know me, I'm Nicole, and I thank you for joining me for another Maintenance Mindset episode, week 3. But before we dive in, I want to first thank you all who have joined me for another episode and who have subscribed to this channel. If you're new here, welcome again, dear hearts. And if you enjoy what you see, please remember to share, like, and subscribe. This channel was created for us to be able to share stories and experiences about life. So I'm glad you stopped by to tune in. And as always, I'm forever humble and grateful. So today's episode is all about my non-negotiables now that I am on maintenance. If you heard in the other videos, I talked about things I didn't expect after losing over 125 pounds and the importance of me, for my journey, working with a dietitian, staying in lockstep with my doctor. So today's episode, I am going to talk about those non-negotiables that I've learned along the way that have become a part of my maintenance plan, the things my doctor and dietitian helped me understand that are no longer optional for me if I really want to sustain my health long term. So, weight loss taught me discipline, building those healthy habits that I am incorporating into my maintenance plan. Maintenance, though, is definitely teaching me discernment, right? This episode isn't just about doing more. It's about doing what actually matters when you're in a place of maintenance and you're trying to sustain your health long term, right? So when I was losing weight, I could get away with being aggressive, eating less because of the Zepbound shots wasn't even a thing I thought about. It just happened because I had the shots as a tool, right? Pushing harder or focusing on the scale are all those things that, I could get away with and be aggressive about because I was really trying to lose weight. I went from 292 pounds at the beginning of my journey, December of 2023. And that is before I started taking the Zepbound shots. I started taking those in January of 24, and I was around 287. So circa now, I'm now at 162, and I am at my goal weight, and my range weight is to stay between 158 and 165 with the approval of my doctor, right? So we kind of talked about what the range looks like for me, and that's the range that we established and agreed upon. So once I hit maintenance, my doctor and dietitian both said some version of the same types of things, right? My goal right now is to protect my body, protect my health. Maintenance isn't flexible without some form of structure, right? So, and it does require some guardrails, and that's where I was thinking about this and was like, those are where my non-negotiables come in. So we're going to talk about what that is. So non-negotiable number 1 is hydration is foundational, right? This one is very close to my heart because, as I mentioned in my other videos, I had that ER scare where I was dehydrated and I had to go to the ER because I needed fluids, and it just kind of hit me because I actually didn't realize that I was dehydrated. And my doctor was like, well, that's something that just, it sneaks up on you. You don't have signals or signs that you're dehydrated necessarily. It can just, when it hits you like a brick almost. So my doctor and dietitian were very direct that hydration is not a suggestion. It's definitely a requirement at all times. And I knew that in my weight loss journey too. I just think, as I mentioned in some of my earlier videos, that I was on too high of a dose of Zepbound. And that was definitely operator error on my part because I didn't have a desire to really eat or drink, and too many days like that caught up with me. And what that should have done was told me that I needed to titrate down. But I wasn't really saying anything to my doctor about it. I was just kind of going through thinking everything was fine because I was still working out. I was still, getting enough sleep. So I didn't feel anything. Like I said, I didn't feel like I was dehydrated. So it just kind of hit me. So that was a huge lesson learned for me when I got the ER scale and then found out I was dehydrated. Because when it hit me, it definitely hit me. I felt shaky. I felt like my limbs were going to give out. Like it was definitely a scary situation. So I don't, please remember to hydrate, and if you feel like you can't eat or drink and you're on Zepbound or you're on some type of GLP-1, then make sure that you talk to your doctor, your healthcare professional, and decide on if you need to titrate down or not. So just definitely keep in lockstep with whoever your provider is, because that's going to be very important. For me, my dietitian also helped me understand how dehydration impacts like your energy, your hunger signals, your digestion, your blood pressure. I've talked about that several times. That's something that I've gotten under control, but definitely had to monitor for me, right? Like with my blood pressure, is it up or down? Am I feeling fatigued? Like all of those kinds of things. So now my non-negotiable is very, very simple. I hydrate before I do anything else. Like I keep my little 40-ounce tumbler right by my bed. It goes with me everywhere I go. I have like 3 or 4, actually, I have like 4 of these and I have them throughout. So I rotate. Sometimes I have one just like this that has my electrolytes in it, and then one I keep with just pure water. Sometimes I'll put lemons and things in it, but I definitely make sure that I keep water with me wherever I go. So, and when I wake up in the morning, I do get like cotton mouth, like I get dry mouth. So I definitely take a couple sips in the morning when I wake up. And that's the first thing that I do is as soon as I wake up, I'm like brushing my teeth, washing my face, and then I'm taking some sips of water. So I make sure that I get enough water throughout the day. And I'm at like maybe 80 ounces of water each day is my recommended amount. And I'm getting about that amount. So, and definitely with 2 40-ounce tumblers, I should be good. And then you think about like my smoothies and stuff. I use coconut water. And I use obviously water for my tea, water for my coffee. And then water's in your fruits and your veggies and all that kind of stuff. So I definitely get enough water throughout the day now. It's just non-negotiable. So non-negotiable number 2 for me is eating enough and eating consistently. So I talked a little bit about this in the last video, that eating enough and eating consistently. And that was a part of the reason why I paused on my Zepbound for right now, is because even at the 5 milligram dose, I still felt the appetite suppression, and I still felt like I wasn't getting in enough calories at the weight that I am now. So, I need about 1,800 to 2,000 calories in a day. And I was not getting that with still taking those injections weekly. So, and I know people can adjust their shot. They maybe take them every 9 days, every 10 days, or, they space the shots out and all of that kind of stuff. For me personally, I just needed to reset. I needed a whole pause. And I started the pause in November, and that's really what led me to that, is because I definitely wanted to focus on eating enough and eating consistently. And this was also the reason that triggered me to get into getting a dietitian. So my dietitian emphasized something to me that shifted everything also was, under eating and maintenance is just as harmful as overeating. And that blew my mind too. It's like thinking about not eating enough. And after you've lost all this weight, you want to make sure that you're getting in enough nutrients. Like my body needs the nutrients that it needs, right? I need fruits and vegetables and fiber and protein and carbs and fat and healthy fats, all of those things I need every day. So now my non-negotiables include eating every 4 to 6 hours. I do have an alarm set on my phone. So I make sure that I don't forget to eat, because sometimes it's not as bad now, but definitely when I was taking my injections, I would forget to eat, especially if I'm working or I'm doing something else, because it's not really something that I think about all the time. I don't have that food noise, and I still don't. And I've been off of the shots for I guess now it's been over 2 months. So I definitely still have those reminders on my phone to make sure that I'm eating something, even if it's a small meal, every 4 to 6 hours. I make sure that I have protein at every meal. And my dietitian emphasized how important fiber is as well. So definitely incorporate more protein and more fiber in those. We talked about also with my dietitian, the balanced plates, having those protein, carbs, and healthy fats. So trying not to skip meals or to make up for indulgence, right? I really try hard not to skip a meal. I really try to eat throughout the day, small meals. I am able to eat a little bit more, which is good for me, but I stop eating at a certain time. I still stop eating probably about 7, 8 o'clock at night. I'm still making sure that I'm getting in enough water. If I'm getting enough fiber, then I'm feeling full throughout the day. So I don't have those, like I said, those food noises. I'm still eating the things I was eating when I was taking the shot. Because again, those are habits that I've already built that I don't see just me stopping just because I stopped the shot. So I think about too, maintenance requires fuel and not fear, right? So I definitely felt like fear was starting to creep in, like, oh my God, I've never been at this weight before. I've never been in this place. That was one of the first things I talked to my dietitian about was, am I going to be able to sustain this? Like what if for whatever reason, like my insurance doesn't cover Zepbound anymore? Like I was terrified. Like what if I'm not able to use the tool? So that was another thing I thought about, like, what are you going to do if you can't have the drug anymore? Like if whatever happens with our world and my insurance decides, no, we're not paying for that anymore, and it's not available to me, because I definitely am not a person that can pay out of pocket $1,200, $1,300 every month for a box of shots. Like there's no way. So something like that had me thinking, like, what am I going to do if I don't have access to that anymore? So just trying to really think about what makes sense, and thinking about, I've built a lot of healthy habits. So it's that trust that I talked about in the other videos, trusting that your habits will sustain you during maintenance, and not so much the drug, because the drug is just a tool. It was a tool to help me get to where I am. And now that I've built up all these habits, I have to be able to sustain that. And I know that's not for everybody. This is, again, just my personal experience, my personal journey. And I'm just expressing the things that led me to the decisions that I made for myself and my weight loss journey, my maintenance journey. So the other thing is, consistency matters more than perfection. Definitely, obviously you've seen I went to the ER because of dehydration. I've made some mistakes along the way. I've done things that I wish I would have done different. I feel like I titrated up when I didn't have to. I could have stayed probably on the 5, even though my weight was slowing down as far as loss, but that was just my body getting caught up, right? Getting caught up with itself. And I just really didn't understand that at the time. So there are things that I wish I could have done differently, but I definitely learned a lot of lessons over the way. And the biggest thing I learned is how to be consistent. And that is what is really helping me with my maintenance plan, is that consistency with when I do my workouts, when I eat, when I hydrate. All of those things matter. And those are the healthy habits that will sustain you for a lifetime, right? So my non-negotiable number 3 is having that medical and professional oversight. I think that is a huge thing. Probably should have been number 1, but one of the biggest changes in this season that I'm in right now is my commitment to staying connected to my doctor and now my dietitian, right? So I have a team of support. And then I also utilized through my employer it was actually a weight loss management program. And those are, again, tools and things that I can use along the way to help me think about different recipes, or when I'm feeling like emotional eating, what that looks like. It's just those additional encouragement and things to help me keep going. So I'm no longer guessing. I'm no longer crowdsourcing my health. I'm no longer reacting to trends or anything like that. Basically, my non-negotiable is to check in with professionals. So my primary care provider, my dietitians. I don't even look at a lot of videos now if they're not a healthcare professional about GLP-1s, right? So I'm looking more at doctors that help people with their weight management and things of that nature, but they're actual physicians. Or I look at other dietitians as well on YouTube. I think that has helped me, because a lot of the things that my doctor and my dietitian say is the same thing that these professionals are saying as well. So those things are all aligning. So I check in with my professionals, on a consistent basis, and they understand my body, my history, my overall goals. So that includes my lab work, medication adjustments, which we talked about, nutritional guidance, and definitely from the dietitian. And then we're just having honest conversations about my fatigue, my recovery, how I'm feeling emotionally, how I'm feeling with my blood pressure, all these things, right? Maintenance is not a do-it-yourself. It's definitely more about being intentional. Okay. So think about that too when you're, if you're at maintenance, or if you're headed towards maintenance, or if you're just starting your journey, you have to think about your non-negotiables along the way. So my non-negotiable number 4 is movement that supports, not depletes. My doctor and dietitian both reinforce that movement should support my body and not punish it. So it's not a punishment, it's support. So that means yoga is important to me for mobility and stress. Walking for that consistency. I love walking. I have a walking pad. I walk outside. I have a stair stepper in my office. So if I'm feeling a little bit stressed while I'm working, then I can take a 5-minute break and I'll step on my stair stepper for cardiovascular health. And that also helps too, because of, my blood pressure issues and things. Strength training to help protect these muscles. I'm not getting younger. I'm only getting older. So that's also very important. And I no longer work out to earn food or to shrink myself. I work out because it does all of these other things. It's helping me maintain my strength, my longevity. It helps improve my sleep. I usually feel more energized the nights that I work, the days that I work out, and then the next day, like I can tell the difference. So just keep those things in mind too. And then my non-negotiable number 5 is definitely listening to fatigue signals. And this is where, everything kind of comes together for me, because my fatigue, like that fatigue of injecting every week, wasn't something that I needed to push through. It was something that I needed to respond to. So that again is one of the things that helped me, like with pausing my Zepbound injections. It wasn't just about just quitting. It was just that I needed to pause to reset myself. And then just look at like all of these habits that I've built. Like I said before, I just really felt like those weren't just going to go away because I stopped injecting myself every week, right? So, and again, I know that that's not everybody's journey, that's not everybody's story, but if you are really like making those healthy lifestyle changes, they don't just go away. And I've been on, like I was on the Zepbound shot for, 92 shots or something like that, almost 2 years. So it was just kind of like, I just don't feel like all of the things that I was doing outside of just injecting myself every week was just going to stop. Because I stopped taking the shot. So that's kind of where my mindset was. And I just really was like, I'm going to run with that. And I know that I need to reset because I'm getting the fatigue. I want to monitor myself a little bit more and make sure that I'm getting in enough calories, make sure that I'm getting enough hydration, all of that. So listening to those fatigue signals is very important. So now my non-negotiable is this, that I don't ignore any warning signs. I definitely rest as a part of my responsibility. Okay. So, and I know I said a lot. So let's talk about just what scripture kind of is my anchor right now in this season. And that's in Proverbs 4:23. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. And maintenance has taught me that guarding my health is a form of stewardship. God doesn't ask us to sacrifice our bodies for results. He asks us to care for them with wisdom. Our body is a temple, folks, and I know you all know that. My non-negotiables are boundaries, and boundaries are how we protect the blessings we've prayed for. Amen. All right. Now I want to hear from you because I've said a lot. I've talked a lot. So what's one health habit that needs to become a non-negotiable for you in your life? Or what boundary do you need to set to protect your progress? Drop those in the comments. Clarity could help someone else. It definitely would help me. I love to read from you all. This is a maintenance mindset where wisdom replaces extremes and health becomes a lifelong commitment. So don't forget to like, subscribe on this channel. And thank you again for tuning in. And I'll see you all next time. All right. Have a good one.